I want to ask you guys something. If I am a brand new person and here you guys are, you save for your wedding, you have very little money. I would say, if it's okay for me to say regular jobs, not like, oh, I'm an executive at a company.
No, we were not making a lot of money at all.
And so you just looked at your budget and kind of decided like, hey, we'll take these little and it should take us this amount of time to come up with this money, right? Can you share, if I'm a brand new person just now starting to budget, like, can you give me an idea of what that looks like so that I can start doing that?
Well, I think one of the more important things is to track your money. And sometimes when you track your money, you realize, I'm spending $500 on takeout a month. What is wrong with me? I could, put together,
That's what I'm
sandwich. But when you start to track your money and really, where is my money going? We don't think about that. We just think about, you have the rent check, good. Okay, next. It doesn't matter where everything else is going. But when you start to really look at, what are we spending our money on? Or if you're by yourself, what are you spending your money on? You start to look at a certain pattern and a certain trend of, I'm spending too much money on this. Is there a way I can cut this down so that I'll have extra money? Because I think a lot of people, when you talk about saving, the first thing they tell you is, well, I don't have money left over, so how am I supposed to save it? Right?
That's good.
So that is the first thing you hear. People are like, I'm living paycheck to paycheck, I don't have money, how am I supposed to save? But when you look back at what you spend your money on every month, there's at least one item that you can either eliminate or at the very least, cut down on. And that money, you can save.
Right. I think when we really first started to budget and save, my initial reaction or my initial thought was, man, I need to get another job, or I need to find something else to do, or, see how we can get more money. And to Nelsy's credit, she was like, no, we really don't have the time. Let's first see what we can cut down. And I think that's what really made the difference. Because when we started looking at what we were spending on, it really wasn't necessary. We want to break down to the simplest terms, what is it that you need, and really separate your needs from your wants. So, we go back to coffee. We had a conversation about coffee. Do we really need this many coffees? And I was like, no, I need my pumpkin spice lattes. Then maybe we can cut it down to this much until we, take it out completely. I think one of the biggest things we did in urgency that over was the haggling. So I tend to call Cablevision companies every year. I call credit card companies. Anything that you're paying it's money going away as an expense, you want to get in contact with these people because that's your money going into their pocket. So you want to see what's the best way you can get a better deal. So for example, with credit cards, I call them every year, which is Discover or American Express. And I say, what promotions do you have? What promotions do you have? I've been this customer for this long. What can you give me? And then they'll come back and say, well, we have this or this. Usually we get the 0% interest. I haven't paid Discover any interest in the last 7 years. I don't know how that happened.
That's awesome.
I'm like, what do you have? And they're like, well, we have this, so you can have 0% interest. Give me the 0% interest.
Right now.
And this is where the teamwork comes into, because I will call and they say, nope, we can't have a discount. Okay, I'm sorry for calling. I don't have that. So he's more no, he's more persistent.
You gotta fight.
Let me speak to the manager or supervisor, or let me, connect me to the disconnected department, he does all of this. And I don't know how to do that because I feel like, am I bothering them?
No.
It's not.
It's taking your money. You gotta. I mean, we had this cable company. We had them for years, and then they skyrocketed our price like $50. I was like, we're not doing that. So I worked, and I was like, you're not gonna give me a better deal, then I'll just go somewhere else. And don't be afraid of doing that. There's a bunch of other companies out there that can get you better deals. When we started saving for our home, I was looking at our bank account. I was looking at interest rate or researching. I think researching is a good point too in terms of research. Move your money over to a high yield savings account, which will give more interest on your money. So that way get more
like that
for you.
Yeah.
That's you know, you want to look at all these things and really research where can you get more money without having to work another job, and where can you cut down without having to sacrifice too much. And definitely treat yourself. Definitely treat yourself. You know, it's not like for people that have lost weight, you don't have to starve yourself. You know,
Right.
Exactly right. Because I love food.
you don't have to starve yourself to lose weight. You just have to really find out what meals work for you, right?
Yep.
Kids. So when it comes time to eating, you're at a birthday party and you're like, oh man, I really shouldn't. But really taking a piece of that cake isn't going to make that much of a damage. So treat yourself once in a while. Go out, you know. Get yourself coffee. So
Yeah.
you're, oh my God, I have to save this now. I have to save every penny. You don't.
And I
You have to
think
make it sustainable, right? Because then you quit.
That's the key word.
Exactly.
Make it sustainable.
Mhm.
That reminds me of the book that we read, Profit. Was it Profit
Profit
First?
First.
You know, it talks about the money that you save from your business. Split it in half every quarter and treat yourself as a reward for budgeting and planning for your money. So that's very key. I like that.
Yeah.
And I think as far as Chris saying about the second job, if you feel that you need to get a second job, there are people that are like drowning in debt. If you feel that you need to get a second job for a certain period of time, even that, you can find, hey, I need a part-time extra job. I'm going to do this for a year, and I'm going to commit that extra money is going into paying my debt. I want to make sure that I start out next year fresh. That's the kind of conversation and decision that you really have to make. And kind of don't think of it as, oh, I'm just going to get a second job and I'm just going to be in the second job forever. Just think about it as, I'm going to do this for a year. Or, you know what, I'm going to do this for 2 years. I'm going to commit to this. I'm going to get myself together, and then, you know, I'll leave this job and I will be debt free, and then I'll just save on my first job. And sometimes you have to make those decisions, and it's not easy. It's just not going to be easy. There's no shortcut. There is no, sure, there is shortcuts. You can go to your parents and say, can you know, help me pay my bills for 6 months?
Right.
But there is a certain satisfaction to doing it on your own.
Yeah.
There
Right.
really is. I think I was telling Jasmine the other day, even when we decided to buy another car, we had like this little hoopty when we got married because we didn't have any money.
Toyota, 98.
Little Toyota, and it just screamed back credit as he was driving it down. And I was like, listen, they're not gonna give us anything with the car.
Man, I love that car.
And we decided, hey, at some point we want to get another car, just because this car is only, you know, had its best days. We're gonna have to need another car in the next 2 or 3 years. And so we started to save for the car. We didn't know when we were going to buy the car. We didn't know how much it was going to cost. We didn't know what kind of car we wanted. We just knew that at some point we're going to have to buy a car, and let's start putting money aside. And so 2 to 3 years down the line, our landlord wanted to sell his vehicle. And he's like, oh, you know, I have this vehicle and it has like 20 or 30,000 miles. We bought the vehicle, we never used it. And, you know, we were selling for this amount, and we had the cash because we have been saving for 2 or 3 years. So the opportunity came, we had the cash. We were like, oh, we'll get you a certified check. Boom, the car was here the next day. And so I think planning ahead, like going back to planning, right? It goes back to what Antonio was talking about. Planning ahead is very important. You may not have all of the little details on the plan, but if you know that in the next 2 years you want to do something, start saving for it. If you know that in the next 5 years you want to do something, start saving for it.
When you're ready, you have that opportunity.
Even when it comes to when we take vacations, we plan that out a year in advance. Okay, I would like to go here. Okay, so let me start looking at prices. How much is this probably going to cost based on, you know, airfare and everything else? Okay, we're going to have to, you know, put aside $3,000 or $3,500 or $4,000. Okay, so this is how much in 12 months we would have to save per month. Okay, can we do that? Is there something that we're spending this money on now that we can maybe cut down for this year so that we can then go on this vacation and not have to worry about maxing out credit cards? So these are the kind of, and you have to train yourself. It's not normal. It doesn't come natural to you. You have to train yourself to think about things that way because it's just not, it doesn't come natural to us.